and she attached a photo of an ad she spotted in the window of her local seafood takeaway. It says, "Wanted, junior, year 10 or 11, girl," in bold, girl. We've popped the photo on the 4BC Facebook page for you to have a look at. Kelly's asked, is it okay to advertise a job based on gender? It's a good question, Kelly. Let's ask the experts. Brad Petley is a Brisbane workplace lawyer from Acumen Lawyers. Brad, thanks for your time this afternoon. Is this job ad discriminatory?
Ben, g'day, how are you going? It's certainly problematic. When I was informed about this, straight away a few legal issues shot to mind. But a lot of times people misconceive the discrimination laws. There are discrimination laws passed by both the federal and Queensland parliaments, and they coexist, so both apply. And as well as outlawing discrimination, there are some exemptions. So, for example, it's okay to discriminate on the basis of gender to, say, select certain genders to, like, say, in the prisons or in the police to conduct searches on persons of the same gender. But getting to what you said, certainly that is problematic because in order for there to be lawful discrimination or recognised by the discrimination laws, it usually has to rely to the genuine occupational requirements or the inherent requirements of a job. And I'm really struggling to see how in a fish and chip shop there'd be an inherent requirement of a job that you'd be a particular gender.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we contacted the business this afternoon, and the owner provided a statement via an employee. He said this ad was removed after a customer advised us that it was an issue. The shop owner is new to Australia and wasn't aware that it was against the law to advertise in this way. He knows it's illegal now and will not use the sign for future recruitment. Brad, are you surprised, or are there plenty of small business owners in the dark about this sort of thing?
Yeah, I think there are. It's all a matter of education. Like, some small businesses may misconceive the application of the discrimination laws on them because they might have heard about some other workplace laws that don't apply to small business employers. For example, the unfair dismissal laws and the redundancy laws, there are exemptions or allowances made for small business employers, namely business that employs less than 15 or fewer than 15 employees. But that same exemption or relaxation doesn't apply to the dismissal laws. But also sometimes small business owners may make assumptions or prohibited assumptions based on a person's abilities or on a person's abilities based on a particular attribute. For example, some might say girls are better workers than boys, or they might do it as a way of avoiding bizarrely avoiding their responsibilities. For example, I won't employ boys so that the girls don't get sexually harassed. These are all scenarios that I've come across in my practice.
And are they okay then to advertise specifically on gender?
No, not unless it pertains to the inherent requirements of that job.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could you? I'm just thinking of outside the square here. So what if it was say it was a drive-through bottle shop and you have to work late at night, and it could be in an area that might not be regarded or deemed as safe, and you ask for a male only to work in that bottle shop? Would that be allowable? Is that a fair enough request? Because you don't want to put a female, and there's lifting involved and things like that. Again, I'm just thinking on the run here.
Yeah, sure. That's a very good question, and really everything turns on the facts of the situation, but that's fairly and squarely a workplace health and safety issue. Mm-hmm. Like, are you exposing a particular worker to a risk of injury? And if you are, what controls or can you put in place to minimise that risk? So it might be that rostering a worker on their own, whether they're male or female. For example, if they had a knife thrust in their face or a gun thrust in their face, is exposing them to a risk of injury. So how can you mitigate or minimise that risk? So I don't really see gender as being a big issue there.
All right. We're speaking to Brad Petley, a workplace lawyer and principal for Acumen Lawyers. The reason why we're speaking to Brad is Kelly, a listener, emailed me a photo that she spotted at the local fish and chip shop with a wanted sign for help, saying we're looking for an employee, and it would be for a year 10 or 11 junior, but it specified a girl. specified girl, wanted, junior, year 10 or 11, and girl involved. We've got that picture up on our Facebook page if you'd like to have a look, 4BC, News Talk 4BC on Facebook. Brad, could a business get into hot water if someone reported them for a sign like this?
Oh, sure. If a person's found to have unlawfully discriminated against a job applicant, the aggrieved person could be awarded compensation by a body such as the Queensland Civil Administrative Tribunal. Compensation could conceivably run into the thousands or tens of thousands of dollars. But
do you know of any Brisbane employers that have been sued for discriminatory job ads that you've come across?
Look, there are plenty of cases over the decades with small businesses being sued in respect of their behaviour in the pre-employment area, not just in the work area, but the pre-work area, so it's by aggrieved job applicants. How
would you report it if you had an issue with a sign like this? How would you report it, and who to report it to?
Well, I suppose my recommended procedure would be if a person is interested in such, say a boy saw that ad, I'd ask the shop owner, or I'd inform that person that you're interested in the job, and just ask them the reason for them advertising for a girl. It may be a mistake, and that may be rectified straight away. But if the person, for example, said something like, "Oh, I only employ girls because they're better workers," and the person was aggrieved and wanted to take it this far, they could make a complaint to the Anti-Discrimination Commission of Queensland or the Australian Human Rights Commission. And there are plenty of free resources out there. The websites of both bodies are a wealth of information.
And take us through the penalties that a business may face.
Yeah. Look, there's an ADR component once a complaint's made. It's conciliated, which is similar to mediation, where the trained persons from those bodies explore whether the matter can be resolved. Sometimes a person may only want an apology or that the practices are rectified. But sometimes a person may be seeking an award of compensation for a breach of the discrimination laws that has adversely impacted on them.
All right, Brad, thank you very much for bringing us up to date this afternoon. Brad Petley, who is a workplace lawyer and principal for Acumen Lawyers, based here in Brisbane. It all came to light thanks to an email from Kelly, a listener who saw a sign at her local fish and chip shop. We've popped that up on our Facebook page if you'd like to have a look at it yourself. News Talk 4BC on Facebook. It says, wanted, junior, year 10 or 11, big bold print underneath, girl. The owner of the store has since taken it down after a customer informed him that it was discriminatory and that was not on. Your thoughts, 13 13 32.